Greetings everyone, and welcome to Anime Night in the Dojo. Today's featured show, My Dress Up Darling, Season 2.
Yep, My Dress Up Darling, Season 2, Episode 2. Welcome back to the dojo, Ryu. That's Age, we're back for more Anime Night in the Dojo, and gotta make this announcement again because a certain platform is stupid, as we all know. Most of them are, so it's not like this is a one-off case, but from now on, because of this, the link to the Patreon post for the timer-based reaction part of our videos was in the description, but I was informed that it's not functioning. I looked at my descriptions from an outside source, and it was cutting off the link for some reason. So people couldn't even, well, they couldn't click on it because this channel hasn't built up enough history. It was still just cutting off the link, so you couldn't, like, copy it and then paste it manually. So from now on, it's still going to be in the description on the off chance that that starts working. And for mobile users, we were informed, Age informed me that sometimes it's hard to get to the description. So from now on, I'm going to be putting the link to the timer-based reaction post on Patreon in the first pinned comment. Now, since I'm not always awake and or at home when the videos go live, that won't be immediate all the time. So give it a minute, but I will do it as fast as possible because even though I'm the person uploading, if the video isn't published, I can't post or pin a comment until the video is live. So, yeah. And once a video is public, I can't just make the video public, pin a comment, and then schedule again. So the amount of nonsense is just, I've had a really dumb week at this point. So it's getting bad. It's Tuesday right now for us, but the weekend was even more stupid. So anyway, gotta make that announcement for the other couple things. So it'll be in the first pinned comment. I'm sure people will see it, so I won't have to make this explanation every time. I'm still kind of out of it, so I apologize. But yeah, to help mobile users and up until the point where the description link works, then whatever. And if there's two of them, more chances to click on it. Whatever. I don't care. The whole thing is stupid. It blows my mind that you as a creator, if you're posting to a malicious website, that you can't post a link in the description of your own video, but you can pin a comment on your own video for the same thing. So it's just the amount of convoluted bullshit that's in our world is truly impressive. As things should get more streamlined and easy, no, they get more convoluted and stupid. You have to have 97,000 rules for, a game where you kick a ball around. You know what I mean? It's out of control. So anyway, I digress. As for this, as we can see over here, Gojo has supremely died yet again, as per usual. Gonna do that multiple times. And we got left on the cliffhanger of Noah asking them if they were dating, which great way to end an episode. But as we can see in the first frame of the episode here that we're sitting on waiting to start the timer, they have a card for her and what she did last time. So yeah, that's going to be a thing. And as per the title of this episode, this is going to be where chapter 40-ish actually started. So I mentioned that things were slightly out of order, but that doesn't really matter. These events could have happened differently chronologically. It doesn't really matter. I was only concerned that they might be writing a specific character out of the anime, which would have been difficult because said character is kind of not a huge part of the story, but they're there multiple more times. So that doesn't look like it's going to be the case. So we're going to be fine. So I'm going to watch this, hopefully get into a better mood so I can then prepare myself to have to do Shield Hero after this, because that already pissed me off massively last week. So real bummer that this is the order we're doing, but I'd rather get into a better mood because this show is probably most likely going to put me in a better mood than watching Shield Hero ever will. So yeah, I'm doing it out of order. You want to do the thing that pisses you off first, the bad news first kind of deal, then the good news. So we're doing it backwards, but this is just the schedule. So I'm ready for shenanigans. I'm gonna get into a slightly better mood after this weekend's nonsense, and then I'm sure Shield Hero will kill everything for me. So it's gonna be a great recording session, you guys. So we'll get ready for the timer-based stuff, and people on YouTube will see you on the other side of the edit for the review and discussion. So here goes some. Well, alrighty then. This had the look of the Fairly Classic stuff that we were talking about with stereotypes and whatnot, and how like most like high school dramas and stuff go, where you have, you know, the angry high schoolers who are, you know, just assholes to each other and everything. We were just talking about that at the end of the reaction portion there, but no, this guy right here is just Marian's beautician. That's where she goes before she does all of her photo shoots for her part-time job as a model for various magazines and, you know, online stuff, whatnot. So I had a feeling that this scene was going to get a little out of control for what it was, but this episode had, you know, pretty much everything that you wanted to see in it for these. This covered multiple different chapters, because again, this stuff right here happens after they meet the male cosplayer that they met later in the episode. That's how it's not really the second season, but it's how chapter 39 or 40 in the manga starts, is they go to the aquarium and meet him, and then the bunny suit stuff with the Halloween stuff happens. So again, slightly out of order, but again, it's not like there's some kind of definite timeline for those things. Either one of those could have happened first. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's not like them trying to retroactively add Negretto to the story in freaking season 4.
Yeah, so I was just concerned they were going to remove that guy from the storyline, because I think we all know why. But he's a fairly
why would they remove the femboy?
Yeah, why would they do that? I'm not getting into that. Anybody who's on the internet knows why I was concerned about that. But he is a recurring character and shows up a bunch. So I was like, if they write that guy out, I don't know how they're going to pull that off. So anyway, this turned out exactly how I wanted it to. They animated this sequence perfectly. So exactly what you want from this situation. So we got that. We got they're developing stuff with Gojo being completely oblivious, though to be fair, he is wearing a Five Nights at Freddy's costume, so you're not really going to notice what she was doing.
Yeah, he's in full mascot. You can't exactly feel her touching him or anything like that.
Yep.
All he could do was barely make out the sound.
Yep. So that continues, unsurprising. We got the sequence with Maureen being sick for like the first time ever, and the whole thing with the fact that she does live alone because her mom has passed away, but her dad works abroad somewhere, just not in Japan, and so he's not readily available to, you know, help his daughter out. He can't just, you know, drive back home from the office and take care of her when he's thousands of miles away somewhere. So out of the country. Being out of the country in Japan means you're pretty far away generally.
Yeah, unless you're like off in China, and even then, China's massive, so depending on where you are in China, you could still be really far away.
Yep. I mean, the closest you could be is like South Korea. You know what I mean? So,
which being in Korea is very rare, because once again, freaking Japan and Korea hate each other. There's very little integration or anything like that between the two.
Right. Kind of that, like, you tolerate your neighbor and that's about it. So,
yeah.
Either way, this sequence was about what you expected. I forget if this was part of the manga, I don't remember, but if it wasn't, it's a solid addition, because that's exactly what Marianne would be wearing, unsurprisingly, in her own home. You can wear whatever you want in your own home, you know? You could claim that, you know, one of my buddies is always proud that whenever he's at home, he doesn't wear pants. So, you know, you don't have to wear pants at home if you don't want to. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. So this sequence, fairly classic, taking care of the sick friend, love interest thing. They went the extra mile to put the subtitles on the Saint Slippery's poster back there, which I think we all know what it was, but I mean, why not? It's just Maureen's room. We've seen it before. I believe she has rearranged it slightly, but that's atypical high school girl stuff, so that's not really surprising. Especially one that lives alone and doesn't have their parents yelling at them to change the room or something.
Well, yeah, that's one thing I was going to bring up as well, is it's just another cultural thing that is very different from the US, is the fact that it actually is relatively common for high schoolers to live on their own in Japan in little one-room apartments.
Yep.
Because oftentimes it's a massive pain in the ass for the parents to live near the school.
Yep. So it's literally cheaper for them to just rent a one-bedroom apartment for their kid to live in, and just that's it. You know what I mean? It's going to be cheaper than whatever it takes to commute to the school and/or move near the school. So it's just cheaper for the 3 to 4 years that they're at that school to just rent a fairly cheap apartment that's near the school, and they have, you know, apartments set up for that exact kind of thing that are probably relatively inexpensive and reasonable. And since it's Japan, it's not trash.
Yeah, no, most public high schools and stuff like that have these kind of one-bedroom apartments set up relatively close by for this exact reason.
Yep. So that's not anything new or exciting if you know that kind of thing. So we got the classic Gojo freaking out about the relationship thing. He puts himself on the balcony, and, well, that's something that happens. I mean, could have just hid somewhere in the house or just manned up and said, yeah, I came after school and, you know, came to see her. It's really not a big deal considering he has also that unique character type of, he's willing to ask the question like he did with the male cosplayer, like, what's the deal with the glue? You know, he built up the courage to, ask the question. And here he could have just done the same thing, but it's, I guess, a slightly different situation when it comes to the whole social stigma of dating somebody that he feels is out of his...
Yeah, it's two different situations in that, that is him asking a question about cosplay and asking a guy, which he clearly has a lot of issues primarily with girls. But also, it's dealing with someone just at a convention, whereas the rest of this is dealing with classmates. And once again, he left school early, faking being sick, when his classmates were all there to know that he did. So that if they show up and immediately put two and two together of, oh, he lied to come here early.
Yep. So as we saw by the Noah meter, it would go completely out of proportion and it would be all over. So either way,
that's one of the main things you got to consider in this situation of why he's freaking out so much is their classmates in the same class, so they would all know for a fact that he did leave early and he couldn't just make up something like, well, I just got here before you guys.
Yeah, he left at noon. It was before lunch or something that he left. He left after third period, which since I know that their periods aren't as stupid as the US ones, because in the United States we have periods that last really stupid amounts of time for no reason. Third period would definitely be over before noon. So, yeah. Either way, we got another whole spiel about this. What was this? It was a visual novel, basically. It was an idol visual novel.
It was an idol dating sim.
Yeah, that's what it was. So,
whereas you have to pick one of the idols and basically try to help build their career while you also date them, but can't let anyone else find out.
Yep. So I don't think this specific side piece of lore was really that much in the source material. It was probably mentioned briefly when they met this character, but it's unsurprising that they went into it more because they went pretty hard on the whole bunny girl backstory in the anime here, which they didn't manga either. They kind of like mentioned it offhand, but the one that they go into more was the one from season 1 with the Magical Girl anime was the one that they went into like the most for backstory and stuff like that when it came to like their universe stuff.
Yeah, this is actually the one they've gone into the least so far.
Yep. Which again is still all the background stuff for like the inspirations for their cosplays. They're going more into it in the anime, which is unsurprising because they have a runtime to fill, and that's like the perfect thing to fill the runtime with is stuff like this. So that's cool. Seeing stuff like that's interesting. I mean, like I said last week, they put like almost as much into the lore of the cosplay that they have in the actual show. So, I mean, they had like whole Wikipedia page entries and stuff like that for that Magical Girl show and stuff like that. So, entire storylines, ships, all that kind of stuff. So, but that was like an entire like anime, and this was just like kind of like a small dating sim basically. So that's probably gonna have just material to work with in general from that kind of standpoint. So either way, glad they didn't cut this character out.
Some dating sims do go pretty hard, but for the most part, yeah, they usually don't have a ton to them in actual like story or world building. It's usually all centered just around the specific characters.
Yep. So either way, the sequence pretty much exactly how it pans out in the source material. Totally fine. Them adding stuff like this is also hilarious. I don't remember entirely if Maureen meets this photographer again. I'm pretty sure she shows up again in the source material here, but it's been a minute, so I don't remember everything about the source material. But having her being a recurring character and being inspired by Maureen to like, you know, get into the Saint Slippery Girls game and stuff like that, and then her having the, you know, freak out about what Maureen is wearing was a pretty solid comedy, so why not?
We didn't get any confirmation, though, if she did do the graffiti or not.
Right. You know what we did get confirmation of? It's been 12 minutes. And you guys know what that means. It means the Crunchyroll player has told me to F off. This is out of control. So, either way, that was a good sequence. I assume she did. But, you know, that's just gonna be what it is. She has her attention to detail with stuff like this.
Yeah, knowing Maureen and how much she like hyper obsesses over the characters, she probably did, but once again we got no actual confirmation. It just cut off with the photographer shit freaking out.
But either way, again, this pretty much plays out exactly how it does in the source material. Once again, this guy here, not Gojo, but the guy that's doing the cosplay, explains to them about the glue stuff, how you can use that for various things in cosplay. That's all relevant and useful information for just anything like that. Like I said, most of the stuff that they have talked about in this show is correct when it comes to like beautician work, hairstyling, cosplay stuff. It's not like they're just, you know, throwing random techno babble out there and expecting you to believe it. There are glues out there that you can use to like, you know, lock your wig in, lock your hair in. It's like a hair care product that, you know, if you put something in your hair, it's going to be adjacent to your skin. So generally speaking, you'd want that to be designed to not irritate your skin. So stuff like this kind of product is going to exist. So
yeah, most glues would irritate your skin, but there are some that like are specifically designed for skin application that are less irritating. Yep.
So that's definitely a thing. And you can absolutely equip boobs, as the title of this episode is that. So that is definitely something you can do, which, I mean, you really shouldn't be surprised by this. I mean, in Season 1, Maureen had that boob bag thing, which just is like kind of like the enhancement thing for adjusting your size when it comes to that kind of thing. So why can't a guy exactly do the same thing? It's not like they're gonna just pull the classic Roger Smith, grab a couple of the, like oranges and stuff them into your shirt. You're not gonna do that. So,
which that was one thing I actually was kind of surprised that they didn't point out at all about this cosplay, in particular, is the fact that Maureen is very flat-chested in this cosplay when she's supposed to be playing the super busty character.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in that section of the game, the outfit is this maid outfit for that character doesn't accentuate her personality.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be like a mix between a kimono and a traditional maid outfit, which kimonos typically do have chest binding to them, but that's still like pretty extreme chest binding.
Yep. But either way, the only other thing that I can say about this one is the fact that we got another almost as ridiculous as it was with Pascal, with Maureen shaking photographer, which I'll have Victoria throw that clip up here.
It was like right at the beginning of them talking.
Yeah, it was. We're definitely going to be grabbing this as a clip for just a bunch of different purposes. Yeah, this right here. It's right up there with the Pascal one that we just had Victoria throw up there. So there's another one. Not as violent and ridiculous as the machine life forms from Nier, but still pretty damn close. If Maureen was capable of picking up this photographer lady and shaking her, she would have done it. So, yeah. Gotta love the art style change and stuff like that for these kinds of situations. A little bit less of the, like, hyper-realistic backgrounds in this one. So, they definitely use those in certain situations, and then we'll definitely point them out when they do that, because it's definitely an interesting take on background stuff that we mentioned last week. So the backgrounds in this were more of like the aquarium stuff and the just the general school setting, Maureen's room and stuff like that. They mostly save the hyper realistic stuff for like the textile places and whatnot. So
I believe they did. Like, you couldn't really see it because it wasn't on screen much, but I believe they did do a bit of hyper-realistic for when Gojo was out on the balcony.
Right, yeah. Town. Yeah. Well, when they went with the that quick little town shot, yeah. So, either way, another solid episode. Glad they didn't remove this character, but yeah, again, just about what you'd expect. The relationship stuff is going to continue. The madness is going to continue. It's going to be interesting to see what they add to the anime. Those little extra things, like the lore from, like, say, that dating sim and stuff like that, is a good addition, just for the extra little bit on the skits and whatnot. And it'll be interesting to see if they keep doing these, like, random mid-sequence cliffhangers at the end of episodes. Because that's what we got both of these in these episodes, with Noah just blurting out, "Hey, are you guys dating?" Boom, that's the end of the episode. And then here we have to wait till next week to have him tell everybody about how to equip boobs. and as per usual, Maureen is, super excited about it. So
yeah, once again, she is a very weird blend of both innocent and lewd. Like, her room, for example, is what you'd expect out of a typical, like, stereotypical otaku, not the freaking, not the popular girl Gyaru.
Right.
Which they did actually call her out for doing Gyaru stuff here, but once again, she is generally more Genki than Gyaru, even though she does do some Gyaru outfits and whatnot.
Right. So yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where this show just kind of pushes that narrative of, anybody can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? There's no, like, you don't have to conform to some standard because you can like whatever you want. You can, go to the opera on Saturday and go to NASCAR on Sunday. Who cares? You know what I mean? You like what you like, and that's it. It's really not that big of a deal. You don't have to stay in the same, like, random lane. So...
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, in general, she fits more the character archetype of the Genki girl, which is the, like, super happy-go-lucky, excited about everything kind of character.
Yep.
Whereas Gyaro typically are more, not necessarily abrasive, but, like, they're usually more aggressive about things and rebellious.
Yep.
So once again, Gyaro itself is supposed to be a rebellious, fashion style.
Yep. It's kind of like when guys dye their hair, not black, or girls, doesn't matter. So, anyway, that's all I got for this one. You got anything else, Age?
I don't think so.
Alrighty then. Well, then, ladies and gentlemen, people of YouTube, beyond, however you're watching, we always appreciate you stopping by and hanging with us here in the dojo for more Anime Night in the Dojo. And this was My Dress Up Darling, Season 2, Episode 2. And now I have to prepare myself to do Shield Hero, and I hate it. I hate it, you guys. I hate it so much. Hopefully it gets better. So, have a good morning, evening, afternoon. Whatever it is for you. Have a good one. See you next time.
Hey everyone, Victoria here. If you enjoyed the video, please consider pushing those like and subscribe buttons. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thanks again for your time, and we hope to see you again in the future.